saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, and you already know why you're here. And trust me, I am not here to waste your time because I definitely don't want nobody wasting mine. So let's go ahead and jump right in. 6 social media tips that are secretly killing your revenue and what you should be doing instead. And before we get into the video, for anybody that is new here, I'm Cheri Cobb, owner of Cheri Cobb Creative, a concierge marketing and growth company, and we help medical providers scale cash pay services, all while attracting their ideal clients, because both are equally as important, and don't let anybody ever tell you anything different. So first off, I want to make sure we are on the same page. I want to make sure you understand, in a very saturated market, the only way to stand out is to talk about your treatments and services less and to build more connections, because people buy from and people connect with people that they know, like, and trust. Okay, let me repeat that for the ones in the back that didn't hear me. People buy from and people connect with the people that they know, like, and trust. So everything that we are going to discuss in this video it's not gonna be the outdated things that you hear the marketing bros tell you, or you hear the marketing agencies that are not even building personal brands on their own tell you. I am coming from someone that believes in people first marketing. I believe that when you can get people to connect to you and your story, you get them to stop questioning your prices and you get them to say yes and book now and schedule the consultation. The more connections you build, the more people will say yes. So you have to understand that. And last but not least, remember that action takers are money makers. The gold is in the implementation. So everything that we discuss in this video, make sure you write it down, save this video for later, share it with a friend, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel for more marketing and growth gold. Now, most marketers will probably have a heart attack if they ever hear me tell you to do any of these things. While most marketing companies focus on numbers, and trust me, I love the numbers, I love the data, I love the growth too, but I actually believe in human first, people first marketing. Social media is all about being social, and so many of you eliminate the social from social media, and that's why you don't get the return on your investment. But the best way to connect with people is through storytelling, is through personal experiences, is through everything that you are that pretty much doesn't involve your treatments or services. Which brings me to number 1. Talk less about your treatments and services. The average person does not pick up the phone. And again, we're talking about social media. The average person does not pick up the phone to be sold to. The average person picks up the phone because they had a long day, or maybe they're just looking for some sort of entertainment. They want connection. They want to feel like they're a part of something, but they don't want to be sold to. I say this all the time. People love spending money. People love to shop, but they don't want to be sold to. And I want to tell you a little story about how I know this. Some of you may remember, because you've been around for a long time, on my social media accounts, I used to always teach a lot of marketing tips, a lot of how to go viral, a lot of what time should you post on social media, how to edit a video, how to write an email, all of those things. Now, while those types of tips did help, and they did help me elevate my online presence, what I began to realize was that they were drawing in the wrong types of clients. They were drawing in those medical spas and medical practices that were still in the hustle culture, and they still wanted to do everything on their own. So they were not necessarily there because of my stories or because they connected with me. They were there just because of the tips that I would provide. So as a result, the clients that I would attract, they didn't have, they were not in a position to go ahead and delegate their marketing to me. They wanted to do everything themselves, and those were not the types of clients that I wanted to attract. And it's the same thing with you, with your medical aesthetic services, your medical practice. People don't want to be sold to. They don't want to get on social media every day and see you talking about your Botox or filler special, but instead they want connection and they want more stories. And if you don't know, where to start when it comes to storytelling, just think about why you started your business, what fills your cup when it comes to treating patients. Talk about more stories like that, because those are the connectors that get people to become obsessed with you, because now they know you more on a personal level. They don't just see you in the white coat. They don't just see you with the syringe or the needle in your hand. Now they know you as a human. And one thing I can promise you, the more connections that you curate online, people stop questioning, well, how much is this and how much is that? Because now they're connecting to you as an actual person, and price no longer matters. So talk less about your treatments and just build more connections. One thing that I always like to tell my clients, if you don't really know what to talk about, like some it comes natural, okay? Some of my clients, it literally comes natural. They can pick up the camera, or when I'm there on content days, I can pull out the camera and they can just go. They don't need a script. They don't need me to guide them or hold their hand. They literally just go. But if you're one of those ones and you just really don't know what to talk about, go to Google Trends, because I've been doing this lately, not really on my business Instagram account, but I do it like on my for fun TikTok account, and pick something that is relevant to your industry. Like pick a topic, because there's always trending things just going on. Pick a topic and talk about it. So for example, right now, the devil wears Prada 2 is a hot topic. They just released their trailer, and that is something that a lot of people want to talk about. Something else, Kris Jenner, okay, if she's not trending for her $70 million birthday party, or I don't know, maybe she turned 70. It was 70 and a million in there somewhere, okay? If she's not trending for that, she's trending for all of the surgeries that she had. And if you are in the industry, how easy would it be for you to talk about her transformation? Talk about what you do like about her surgery, what you don't like about her surgery, maybe what you could have done differently. Use all of the things that are going on in this world to talk about, to create more stories. And that is only if you don't know what to talk about. Another story that you can tell, like why you started your business, okay? Why? People are just nosy by nature. So they want to know more about you as the person. They want to know what types of coffee you like to drink. They want to know, what do you do when you're not in your practice, when you're not treating patients? What's your favorite thing to do? So just start there. But yes, tell more stories, because people will connect with your stories. People will always remember how you made them feel through stories. But what they won't remember is your new Botox special, your new filler special, or the features about your newest FDA cleared device. Why is my nose itching? Okay. The second mistake that I see a lot of you making, too many of you making on social media, is using a lot of medical terminology to convey yourself online. Now, I understand what you're saying. Your peers understand what you're saying. Maybe your office staff, they understand. But everyday people, they don't know medical terminology. And a lot of you are literally watering down your brands because you want to be so politically correct. You want to impress your peers. You want to say the right thing. You want to record a video 50 million 11 times because you mispronounced a word, okay? Who cares? Everyday people, they don't know these words. Now, I'm not saying just get on camera and start saying a bunch of shit that's just not true. I'm not saying that. But you also don't want to get too tripped up on using medical terms, because I promise you, everyday people that are in the mindset of being on social media, when they are doom scrolling, all of those big words are just going in one ear and right out of the other. So stop using so much medical terminology. And the very last thing, stop using ChatGPT, because everybody is starting to sound the same. If you want to use ChatGPT as an outline, if you will, feel free. But you don't need to use ChatGPT to tell you how to be the expert and how to show up online for a business that you started. Number 3, now we love social media. Trust me, it feeds my ego. I know it feeds your ego. I probably spend way too much time on social media than I even want to admit. But some of you only use social media and you think that is the end all be all. And social media is literally just about maybe 20 or 30% of the entire marketing ecosystem. What would you do if all you did was promote your business on social media? You had no email list, you had no automation set up, you don't use mini chat or anything, and they just shut down because they have done that before. Some of you will flip your shit because you don't have another means to connect with people. Remember, social media is like a car. It's a car that will get you to your goal, but you can't put all of your ducks in one basket. Did I say that right? You can't put all of your cookies in one basket and just depend on social media alone. There are way more other things that you should be doing to grow your practice. You should have an email list, a solid email list that you are, again, telling more stories, connecting with people by way of email. SMS marketing, internal marketing. When is the last time you went out in the community and handed out business cards or sweet treats to let people know that, hey, this is what I do, this is where my practice is located, and this is what we offer? Not enough. I bet you the answer is not enough. Again, social media is just social media. Yes, a lot of people spend their time on social media, but the more it becomes overly saturated, you have to think outside of the box. And another thing that I always tell my clients, in a world full of AI, in a world full of artificial intelligence, human connection, face to face, handshake to handshake, will always be top tier. So just remember that. Artificial intelligence is taking over, yes, but personality and just showing up as a regular human with a big smile on your face, that will never, ever, ever die out. So don't always think that social media is just like everything. And again, we love it. I'm not going to take the credit away from social media because we love to be on social media. But you need to know that as a medical practice, you have an actual physical location. There are many other things that you should be doing to get more clients in the door and to make sure people in your local area know that you exist. So I just realized that number 4, I have hiding behind your white coat. But I kind of already talked about that because you want to build a brand. You want to be a brand. You don't want to be a logo. I told you that you need to. So I'm actually going to have another tip. Okay, because you already know that you don't need to just hide behind your white coat. You don't need to just be a medical provider. You need to be a human because that's what people connect with the most. And I think we already talked about that. So I'm actually going to switch this tip out with running paid ads before your organic presence is solid. Now, what does that mean? A lot of the marketing agencies, aka the marketing bros that are out there, they will tell you, oh, you just need to run some ads. I see it all in these Facebook groups. And every time I see it, like, I'm going to drop my opinion because I just do not agree. What is the best way to decrease our ad spend? It is to increase your organic presence. Now, if you don't have an organic presence, you shouldn't even be running ads. But the marketing bros, they will never tell you that because they just want the money. Your paid ads should complement, should boost what's already working. How do you know it's already working if you don't have an organic presence, right? So that just means you should just be regularly posting social media content, building those connections, staying visible. And then once you have an idea, okay, every time I show up and I say a prayer online, that's working. Or every time I do a before and after and I share the story of the client, that's working. Once you have a solid idea of what's working, then you can run paid ads on top of that. But let me tell you what happens when you run paid ads and you do not have an organic presence, because I see this happen all the time. Now, back in the day when I first started my marketing company, And I say back in the day like it was so long ago, but I'm just saying buying behavior, human behavior has changed over the time. These doctors would spend 5K, 10K easily on paid ads, and the phones would be ringing off the hook. Okay, patients would be flocking through the doors. Everybody wanted to come in to take advantage of the special. But now we're living in times where people are extra skeptical. They are doing their homework, they are doing double the homework. They want to know more about the provider, which is you. They want to know more about your office. They want to know more about your team. They're no longer just seeing the shiny object, which is the ad, run across their screen, and they're booking an appointment. They're seeing the ad, they're going to your Google reviews, they're going to your social media accounts, they're going to the About Us page on your website. And if all of that doesn't seal the deal, you've just lost money. Ad spend just went down the drain because people want to know more. They're super skeptical. And do you blame them? Because as a matter of fact, I just saw a post on social media the other day where the FDA sent out letters to medical providers that allegedly are using counterfeit Botox. How many stories do we hear about people doing Botox in the shed, people getting locked up because they're buying Botox off Alibaba and AliExpress? So do you blame people for doing more research on their medical provider? Because I clearly don't. And I'm also someone that gets treatments myself. Now, most of the time I get them from my clients, so I already trust them. But if I'm in an area where I'm not familiar with anyone, yes, I am that one that's doing homework, doing my research to make sure if this is the provider for me, are they even legit? Do we even have the same beliefs? Because yes, it is that deep. People want to know more about their treating providers, and the more information that you can give them up front, the less legwork they have to do. So that's why it is so important for you to talk about your values, talk about your morals, talk about the things you believe in and the things you don't believe in. There was this girl on social media, I think it was on TikTok the other day, and I loved the video she made. She made a video about why she no longer has the hydrofacial in her office. And I can't remember everything that she said, but the video just stood out because why so many medical providers, they water themselves down. They're talking about all the FDA cleared features and all this stuff, but they're not talking about why they don't like something or why they don't agree with something. And the more you can do that in your brand, the more you will stand out from the crowd. So I know that was kind of all over the place, but the point that I want you to take home is you don't need to be wasting money on paid ads if your organic presence is non-existent. Number 5, and this one is somewhat of an unpopular opinion, but we have got to talk about it. You have got to stop hiring social media managers that don't know the industry. I understand they may be a little bit more cost effective, but 9 times out of 10, they're just creating some pretty graphics for you that are filling your feed. And if your content isn't psychology based and compliant, it's not strategic, it's just decoration. And do you actually want to invest into someone to just make your feed look pretty, or do you want to invest into someone that knows the industry and that can actually turn a follower into a paying client? And it doesn't even just stop there, but turn a follower into a paid client, get them in your office, make them fall in love with everything that you have to offer, and then get them back in your office, and most importantly, tell all of their other successful friends about your services. That takes another level of skill than just a basic social media manager. Another reason why it's important that you first of all, hire me, hello, but I'm just saying, it's very important that you hire someone that knows the industry. The FDA just released another article recently about RF microneedling. And I think we all know the device that caused this ruckus, if you will. And I'll go ahead and say it because y'all know how I feel about Morpheus 8. But we all know that it can be somewhat of a painful procedure. And a lot of the copy that you see floating around right now about RF microneedling, it's saying things like it's no downtime. It's saying things like, the pain level is at 0. And the FDA recently came out and they said you have to be mindful about the marketing copy that you put out about RF microneedling, because there have been patients that have reported serious injuries from getting that treatment. Now, does your $500 a month social media manager know that? Probably not. But when you partner with someone that understands the industry, not only do they keep you from getting in trouble and they keep things compliant, but they can also report back to you and tell you things like, oh, well, there's been a new update that has come out. Now it's time to work with your team to make sure they are conveying the proper things to your clients, because y'all, this is public information. And just like I read it, and just like you read it, the person that you already have on the books for 8 treatments of RF microneedling, now they're calling the office and they want to cancel their services because they're like, oh my God, like what am I doing the right thing? So your team needs to be trained on how to properly have those conversations. And if you visit my website, I'll make sure I put it in the description box down below. I created some talking points and email templates that you can send out to your clients who do have concerns about RF microneedling. Number 6. Now this is the one that you guys are going to stop doing, like right now, today, as you watch this video. As a matter of fact, well, you know what? I'm not even going to say that because it is around Black Friday time. So I take that back. I take that back. Okay, listen. Black Friday and other holidays are the only acceptable times where you can slash your prices to get people in the door. But if you're just doing this on the regular, it is so tacky. First off, patience notice. I used to have a client that used to want to do this. Run a flash sale. Our schedule is empty. Run a flash sale. No. Instead of running a flash sale, run a recall report in your computer, call everybody that is due for an appointment and get them in the door. But cutting your prices just to get people in the door, y'all, is given very tacky. And you are also training your clients to treat you like a one-stop shop. And that is just not good for overall success. Now, again, it's Black Friday. We're coming up on Black Friday. There are sales galore, sales going on like crazy. This is one of the most appropriate times where it's okay for you to take a loss and slash your prices to get patients to say yes. There's still a more eloquent way to do it versus just blasting it everywhere. Offer it to your existing patients, because what happens if you offer these deals to the masses, then you're going to get people that are just there for that deal and you won't be able to retain them. You know that, just like I know that. And that is not how you build a sustainable business. It's not always about new patients, new clients. We all want new clients, but we want them to stay around. We don't want them to flip out on us and go leave a bad Google review in the event we raise our prices back to the normal price, because it's not going to be on sale forever. And then it's going to be that one person that's just going to trickle in the office, and they're going to think that because they got that discount 1 or 2 times before, that they're supposed to get it each and every time. And just like a child having a temper tantrum, the second you tell them no, guess what? They're going on Google review and they're going to blast you. And it may not even be about, oh, well, they didn't give me the discount. No, they're going to find something else to blast you about. So slashing your prices to get patients in the door, like I said, it's given very tacky, but also it is not sustainable for growing a business that you like and love and that you can one day retire from and sell to someone else. So I hope those 6 tips helped you. If you're nodding your head like, yes, I know, Cheri, I'm guilty of some of these or maybe all of these, then no worries, because I promise you, you are not alone. So many medical professionals are dealing with a lot of these tips that I just told you about, because some of these things are literally being told to you the opposite way of what I teach and preach. I see it all the time. It's everywhere. So another thing I suggest you to do is take advantage of the Social MD. The Social MD is my brand new social media marketing course made just for medical professionals to help you learn how to attract more of your ideal clients using social media. I'll leave more information about that down in the description box below. And remember, for the rest of this year, the course is only $99. It's regularly $297, but because I love you guys so much, it's going to be $99 for the remainder of the year. Now, if the course is just not enough and you need me to hold your hand just a little bit more, then I recommend you apply for the takeover. That is my all-inclusive marketing package. And just remember that we only work with one practice per zip code. Okay, we love to ensure exclusivity. I don't work with you and your neighbor across the street. No. Okay, if I'm partnering with you, you have all of my attention. So if you found today's video helpful, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which one of these are you most guilty of. We are not here to judge. Remember that action takers are money makers, and the gold is in the implementation, not the information. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.